Hey everybody, this is Talkative Carl, back again for the spoiler review for The Mandalorian Season 2. We're going to try to pick up the pace on this one because I got something to do right after this. So, uh, luckily, this is like a short season. But yeah, we pick up after the events of Season 1 of The Mandalorian, where now Din Djarin is tasked with finding another Jedi to, help raise and teach Baby Yoda. I'm not calling him fucking Grogu because it's a fucking stupid name. Uh, to take care of Baby Yoda because he doesn't have like the needs that need to be met for the baby. Even though this baby is 50 years old, uh, who's part of Yoda's race, but who, given the fact that Yoda lived to be close to 900, or at least a little bit 900 years old by the events of uh, Return of the Jedi. Uh, but uh, we know, Moff Gideon has the dark saber. We'll see that come into play by the end of the season. But all the while trying to find other Jedi, he needs to find like some other Mandalorians who can like point him in the right direction. So he goes to Tatooine. He finds this marshal, who Cobb Vanth. I keep forgetting Cobb Vanth, and he thought who has like Mandalorian armor, but it turns out to be Boba Fett's armor that he got off from some uh crap, not Tuskens, but Jawas, who, by the way, according to like this like mechanic that Mando usually go to, she brings up the fact that like she used to be with like a Jawa, and they apparently are furry. So it's like, wow, they're very open minded in terms of like sexual partners in this franchise, because in the Clone Wars, one of the seasons, I brought up the fact that this woman who's like this did this terrorist attack on the Jedi Temple hooked up with this mechanic who worked there, and like I forgot what he looked like, but it's definitely something that didn't mesh well to her because she looked like a ordinary Asian woman, and he looked like a cyclops with stuff, and it's like okay, not like a human with a cyclops eye. It's like a straight up like a cyclops and something else, and it's like I don't know how you make that work, but uh uh he goes there, and he sees like Cobb Vanth wearing this armor, and like he only gives Mando back this armor if he helped stop this crate dragon, who's like kind of like if you ever seen the movie Tremors with Kevin Bacon. It's almost like that, but it's like a very large like sand dragon thing, and they enlist the help of Tusken Raiders, who also been dealing with this dragon, but they also had like a feud with these guys because different tribes of Tusken always like one worse than the other, uh, and so they broker a peace. Uh, they'll help them stop this like crate dragon, then they won't raid their town. Uh, so they eventually stop him in like a cool fashion with Din Djarin, literally just like Iron Man in that big space worm thing in the first Avengers movie, going inside and self these grenades and blow it out from the inside. Din Djarin pretty much basically did the same thing. And so now he's still on the search, and they go to, well, they get this little another task, little side task with this frog lady, and it's probably one of my least favorite episodes when it's going to snowy planet, not Hoth, but snowy planet with these ice spiders, and I didn't like that episode because I don't like fucking spiders, and like get rescued by you know rebel pilots, but they go to this fishing planet where to drop off this frog lady and her container full of frog eggs to be like raised with like her husband. Don't know why they were separate, but there gotta be reasons, but I just didn't pick it up. But then you see like Baby Yoda keeps trying to eat those doggone things, and like then like having to deal with like stop eating them, stop it. I said no. And so they make it to like this fishing planet, which pretty much is like the calamari planet with the Mon Calamaris. And I like the look of that area because it's pretty much, it would make sense they would be like a fishing kind of planet and not just a planet with just like Neptune where you just like none but bodies of water. But and that's where Mando think he getting assistance with some other squid face people, but they send their try to feed him and Baby Yoda to this like underwater sea monster thing. But Bo-Katan comes in with her Mandalorian partners, take those guys out, save him and Baby Yoda. But Din Djarin got issues with them because they're taking off their helmets and they're not supposed to. But they're like a fringe group of Mandalorians. But he works with them in order to help not only take down this like rebel, not rebel, but Imperial base, so they can take their gear to help bring that the ordnance to some Mandalorian troops to help fight back, and rebuild like the Mandalorian people, because a lot of them got wiped out during because you think like the Jedi Purge was bad, like the Mandalorians got just as bad, because Palpatine saw them as just as much of a threat as the Jedi, because the Mandalorians are known to be almost equal match, because they are specifically trained to take on even like Jedi. Since their inception, they've been like rivals to the Jedi for the longest time, and their skills are specifically designed to take on even Jedi, and that's how skilled they are. So they wipe them out like nearly to extinction, just as much as the Jedi, because they both probably have like 5 to 10% of their numbers, since the events of Revenge of the Sith. So now helping Bo-Katan, she drops the name Ahsoka Tano, who for the longest time people always wanted like Rosario Dawson, who I love Rosario Dawson so much. So gorgeous and so funny, and like that fun nerdy girl that's also extremely hot and extremely smart, great personality. And it's like just like with John Krasinski, spoiler alert, showing up as Mr. Fantastic in the Multiverse of Madness. This was great casting. Like sometimes like the people can give you good ideas for casting, and sometimes it pans out well. So he goes to this planet where like Ahsoka Tano is helping to free this this walled off small city, who's been like taken over by this this woman, she's I want to say she's a know nothing woman, but this woman who knows where Grand Grand where Grand Admiral Thrawn is, who I'm pretty sure like will know further into this kind of thing that Ahsoka's trying to deal with when her show. I think her show is starting production, like at least a few days ago. So they're currently in the midst of filming, but that's probably the main crux of season 1 of the Ahsoka series is finding Grand Admiral Thrawn, who you thought might have died in Rebels, but I'm pretty sure we'll find out more about what happened to him, and we probably would know what happened to Ezra, because he was instrumental in taking down Thrawn in the first place. So yeah, but Din Djarin brings Baby Yoda to her, and when she go over certain lines, about like, I only met one other person who's from this exact species named Yoda, and like she tells him like she despite testing Baby Yoda with a few things with the Force, and like him getting coaxed into it by Din, is like yeah like he has the skill, but like I'm not the person to train him, because like I don't want a person who has the potential with the Force to be led down like the wrong path, because like I seen what that can happen to the best of us. And like when you hear that, the way that's conveyed, what she's talking about, like the experience Ahsoka had, like she been through like the thick of it. And I'm pretty sure in the her series we'll find out like after the events of through like Return of Revenge of the Sith and Rebels, and after like at least maybe during the course of the original trilogy, what she's been up to the point of her during the after Return of the Jedi, what's going on. But she tells Din Djarin, okay, go to this planet. It's like, what is it? Tython, and there's like this little spot where Jedi go to like meditate. Take him there. If he wants to learn more, he would send out like a signal essentially, and any Jedi who's in like range can like get a fix on Grogu, and like you would and they would seek him out themselves, and they will teach him. So he goes there, and he gets jumped on after he plays Baby Yoda to the platform, and he starts trying to commune with the Force. I forgot to mention about Fennec Shand, Men Not Win in season 1. She was like a great little addition, because we see her. This season 1 of Mandalorian is the first time we seen Fennec Shand, but you also see her in the Bad Batch, because she's in the Bad Batch. She's like a new bounty hunter, and so since like after events of Revenge of the Sith, up to the point of the Return of the Jedi, because it's established in between like between the points of the original trilogies. It's been like a few years in between each time, so it's fairly assumed like she had like a good 6-year stint as a bounty hunter, and to the point where she's like infamous at this point. So Fennec Shand now is like she got like shot by this idiot greedy young bounty hunter who's trying to make a name for himself, but he gets taken down by Din Djarin. Like he's like a whatever. But Boba Fett found her and hooked her up with like some kind of like cybernetic parts to save her life. And like he is looking for his armor. Now, in order to like give him back his armor, they have to help, him get back Baby Yoda because Moff Gideon, because we found out that Moff Gideon needed like Baby Yodas for his M count or Metachlorian count because his high count uh making him like accessible to the Force more so than anybody, and like with Yoda not around and he's the only other species that we know of, they need that blood in order to like possibly help facilitate the cloning process with Snoke that we'll see in the sequel trilogy. So that could somehow like intermingle. But and then Moff Gideon makes these like Terminator like stormtroopers. It's like dark troopers who are Din Djarin barely had enough time. Like he as skilled as he is, he was barely able to take down one of them. There's a whole platoon of these things. Now, of course, they get Bill Burr and to like, because like like there was like an awesome moment when they need Bill Burr's help to like take on this like Imperial base. What is this? Well, I'm pretty sure they're trying to find. Yeah, they go to this base to find, so they can get inside with Bill Burr's help to locate where Moff Gideon is located, so they can track him down. We get this awesome moment where like Bill Burr takes down, shoots this Imperial high-ranking officer because he was in charge, because he was part of the Empire too, but he defected because like, that's why he was so jaded from the last time we saw him, because he saw some crap, and it's like, I guess hanging with Mando, he's come to realizations like there's certain things that you just cannot let stand, and he let a lot of things stand because it's not like he's like a complete hero. He's not even an anti-hero. He's just like, he did like something that he thought like that need to be. He made right what he felt like was wrong, despite him earlier trying to justify like we're no different from the Empire, is no different from the rebels and vice versa, and it doesn't matter to these people on the ground. But it's like he helps take down this entire base because like this need to be burned to the ground, and so that's what they do. And Mando decides like let him free. We're not returning him back to the prison camp. So they've tracked down Moff Gideon, and we thought like, okay, they Din Djarin sent those dark troopers out into space. Okay, that's the end of them, because like taking one of these things down was like a bitch and a half. However, they end up flying back because they got like jets on their bodies and stuff, so they fly back, even though they, despite like fighting Moff Gideon, and he beat Moff Gideon in a fight while Moff Gideon was holding a dark saber. And as we know from the Clone Wars, whomever like loses a fight with the dark saber, the winner of that fight claims the dark saber for themselves, and they have complete rule over Mandalore by rights. And this puts Bo-Katan in a mood, because like she cannot take the darksaber from Mando now, because that's why she wanted like Moff Gideon to herself, because she needed to fight him on the terms of the Mandalore in order to rightfully possess the sword. But then like the Dark Trooper starts, coming on board, and they, marching down to the hole, or at least like the command station area, and like they're all worried. They're like going to be feeling like, okay, we gotta make a last stand. It's like these things are tough as hell. But one lone, uh, X-wing comes in, and I remember watching people was like, because I was losing my freaking mind, and like other people was like, I've watched like people's reactions to this particular episode and this particular scene, and like you see this like Jedi Rose walking down the hallway, and like you see this green lightsaber with this black glove, and we all freaking know it's like, oh my god, it's fucking Luke Skywalker. And he's just like you think like it was amazing seeing like Darth Vader in that hallway in Rogue One just tearing shit up. This is like parallel to that, and it's like you see Luke Skywalker just tearing ass through these Dark Troopers that Din Djarin had a tough time taking down one. He mopped the floor with them, and it's like like a level 100 Charizard going through a bunch of level 5 Pidgeys. It was like it was all too easy. It's like my favorite part when he like using like his like prosthetic hand and just like like holding him still, and then it's like crush and like and just like with the force just crushes the insides of that sucker. It's like, god damn, it's fucking awesome. Like the power of the fucking Jedi, they are lethal. You already saw what the Ahsoka can do, but these are lethal characters. And like when they turn on, it's like Tiger turned on, and it's like they're like in it to win it. And like of course this bitch Moff Gideon tried to shoot Baby Yoda, and thankfully like Din Djarin took the blast with his armor, and they knocked the dude out. But then it's like Din Djarin's like, open the door, and crap, like I forgot the woman's name, Cara Dune. She was like, are you joking? It's like, you better open that door, because like he's not gonna wait. He's not gonna wait patiently for more than a minute. So they open the door, and of course after rewatching, because at first I didn't really care, because it's like maybe the nostalgia kind of whatever. I wasn't too blinded, but it's like, yeah, I know it's the deep fake Luke Skywalker, and people making like complaints about how it looked. I mean, it's like it's a lot definitely better than what we saw with Layla in Rogue One, but it's like little by little they get better with the technology, with the deep fake stuff. And I think this was like definitely a whole lot better than what we saw with Leia and Tarkin in like Rogue One. But in certain movements, it's like, yeah, it's hard to not notice. And some people saying like they should have gotten like Sebastian Stan to play him, because he's fairly close looking like Luke Skywalker anyway. And I think in Boba Fett, slight spoiler alert, we see Luke in that in one episode, and I think it's a little bit better there too, because like I said, little by little it gets better. But you get this awesome emotional scene with like Mando saying goodbye to Baby Yoda, and so like you have to go with him, and then he takes off his helmet in front of everybody, and it's like that scene gets me. It's like, oh my, it gets a lot of people. And it's like, because you see like like Mando's like, he doesn't want to go with you, and it's like Luke just looks at him, it's like he wants your permission. It's like, because he knows from this Jedi senses, and it's like and then you see R2D2 and everything like that, and like Baby Yoda just touches Mando's face, and then he and like Luke says like, may the force be with you, and he picks up Baby Yoda, and walks with like R2 and takes the elevator, and then like the episode ends, but you get a post credit with Boba Fett and Fennec Shan taking the spot uh, of like Kingpin from what used to be Jabba the Hutt's seat, but it was taken over by Bib Fortuna, who was like Jabba's right hand guy. But they took him out, and he's like now like the Don Juan, or like the Kingpin of the crime syndicate. Now we'll get into that once we cover season 1 of the Book of Boba Fett. But I know it's gone pretty quickly with this review, but I got to take care of something. But let me know in the comments below what you thought of season 2 of The Mandalorian. I didn't mind. I know I noticed the deep fake Luke Skywalker. I noticed like people might have issues with it, but it was so good. It was just to see your childhood hero just kicking ass the way he is. Like he came a long way since that farmer since his farmer days in A New Hope. He's just like a badass Jedi monk now, like a samurai monk now. It's like, man, it gets me hype every time I see it. But yeah, I will see you guys soon. Tomorrow, I will get right into at some point tomorrow evening. I'll get right into the Book of Boba Fett season 1. Hopefully, I can get it done. But we'll see. I will see you guys later. Peace.